Going into the 1950s, there were some developments on the side of manga. Those being the popularization of manga shonen and manga shoujo respectively, which just means manga boy and manga girl. Creative naming system, well done to whoever came up with that one. Osamu Tezuka also entered the picture. Our good friend Oz here thought it prudent to start producing some of the best known manga of all time, while also just changing the way that art was drawn in manga. He had this very cinematic way of drawing panels which had never been seen up to that point. His breakout hit was called New Treasure Island, but he also made a little known manga called Astro Boy. I'm sure that won't be important later. Not unless, I don't know, TVs saw mass adoption in the 50s in Japan or something, but like, no, that would never happen. Television technology had been around in Japan since the 1920s, but considering the cost of making and or owning one, not to mention the rather large war that just happened, nobody really cared. But by the 50s, prices began to drop, and the technology infrastructure was being put in place to allow a fairly large portion of the population to start watching telly. Now in the beginning, animation on TV was mostly regulated to imported media, such as Jim and Judy and Manga Superman, which was literally just Superman. Okay, guys, we are aware that we can come up with words in Japan that aren't just sticking the word manga in front of a pre-existing word. We are aware of this, right? Good, because the next person I see doing this is getting death noted. Japanese animators did start to see a steady stream of work in the form of adverts, which now looked brilliant thanks to a newly recovered Japanese economy, allowing for animators to have a fairly large number of resources. The first animated advertisement was aired in 1953, and was an ad for some clocks or something. Outside of adverts, Japan was still animating shorts, with the preferred style of the decade being that of stop motion. However, one animation studio decided to make a hard reset back to 2D, and touting themselves as the Disney of Japan, a newly formed Toei Animation released Kitten Graffiti in 1957. They would go on to release more animations and even a number of feature-length films over the next few years, becoming Japan's largest animation studio, even making Magic Boy in 1959, which while not being all too impressive on its own, did see a young Hayao Miyazaki join the studio. Other notable thing that happened in 1959, you remember that manga from earlier? You know, the one I said wasn't important? Well, now it's been adapted into a show. So I lied, it actually was important. Mind you, Astro Boy looks a little strange.